Good morning, good afternoon, maybe good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. I am Dr. Nikki Davis, and welcome to Season 2. We've made it to Season 2 of Hospitality Career Connections. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching over the summer as Zachary and I entertained you and interviewed a handful of our program's alumni. So if you are joining us for the first time here on episode 1 of Season 2, I am the program director for, and this is a really long title, so I have it kind of scrolling, the Hospitality, Tourism, and Event Management Program at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois. And we started this little Facebook Live show, I guess, if you want to call that, in the summer to kind of educate folks on what the hospitality industry is all about and to talk with some of our alumni and some of our partners in the industry and just kind of, have a little fun along the way. So, Zachary, you want to take it away?
Yes, my name is Zachary Sims. I am a co-owner and creative director of Innocent Sky Entertainment. We are a photo video marketing agency here in Orlando, Florida, and I'm also an alumni of SIU and the hospitality program. And today it's my pleasure to introduce Nik Kern, who's also an alumni of SIU.
Hi, good morning.
So Nik, to start us off with, if you will, just introduce what you currently are doing, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, good morning. My name is Nik Kern, and I work for Schulte Hospitality Group. I'm currently a general manager at our Embassy Suites in Auburn Hills, Michigan. I've been with the company for about 3 years and a graduate of the SIU hospitality. And when I was there, it was the hospitality and
tourism administration. I think we were HTA. We've had a couple name changes over the years.
Yeah. So, I've been in the industry. I'm coming up on my 20th year. Obviously, I started, of course, before college.
You did. We try really hard not to age people on this show, and it never works.
Right.
Once we start talking about college and how long we've been out of college. But so yes, you and Zachary both actually started in the industry long before into college and certainly graduating from college. But talk to us a little bit about that starting process for you, like right out of college. You walked off the stage at the arena at SIU with that diploma. What was your next step from there?
Sure. Well, I had used my internship and those contacts that I made in my internship over the summer in between my junior and senior year to already secure a role once I graduated. So I actually graduated on a Saturday, and that was when they did different ceremonies. So I was in the auditorium. That was where my graduation was, and my parents helped me pack up my place on Sunday, and I drove to my first job and started on Monday. So not very much of a break for me.
Not at all.
But I was excited to have had the position like ready and waiting, and I actually was hired in March, and so it was exciting to have that like sense of security, almost of like I got something, I know what I'm doing, a little bit of a plan. So I always when people ask like about internships, I make sure that you take them seriously. Don't just do something like, oh, this will be easy, or like I already know these people. Like step outside of your comfort zone, or do something that, because it really will help you have that sense of security when you graduate because of the connections that you make and experience that you get.
That's one thing, and I've said this before in the show that we stress in the program, and the two of you are 6 years apart in graduation dates. That hasn't changed. We were doing that, Nik, before you, and we're still doing it now because the industry, you have to have that experience when you move into the industry. But the networking and the skills that you build in that internship allow our students to do exactly what essentially you both did, and have that job and have that security right off of, right out of graduation. So
it's so funny because it's so important, right? As you mentioned, having that experience. and those connections, because mine was the same way. I graduated on a Saturday, packed everything on a Sunday, and moved the same day, and I worked Monday in a totally different state. And if it hadn't been for SIU's requirement of an internship with the hospitality program, I probably wouldn't have found that job so soon, because to be college graduates and have a guaranteed job before you graduate is a nice feeling, a little comfort for you.
Exactly. And I know like a lot of people that were with me in the same class, like a lot of people had that same opportunity. The ones that took their internship seriously, like maybe they did an internship with Hyatt, or they're a Marriott Voyager, or they worked for, they did something with like LHM out of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
They all had jobs when they left. And so it was, it's so important to take that seriously, and especially like right now, hospitality companies are really looking for great talent, and it's really the ball is in your court as a job seeker, a job hunter. Like there's lots of opportunities for you, and so like that's why internships and networking and getting as much technical experience as you can right now is so important, because the world, like for lack of a better term, the world is your oyster, because there's so many opportunities in hospitality right now.
How long, and I'm taxing my memory banks here a little bit, how long did it take you to move up into management?
Sure. Well, actually, my first job out of college was a manager role.
Okay.
And I mean, that's not atypical, but a lot of times you might start as like a supervisor or like an assistant or something like that. But I had been in the industry for a few years before with a smaller company, so it worked. Yeah, I mean, so it was just nice. Like my first job right out of school was like straight into management. That's a blessing and a curse, I think.
It may be a bit of a learning curve there too.
Right.
Right. There's only so much a college classroom can teach you as far as management. Some of that you learn as you go,
Exactly.
which is why that experience during college is so important. So you can learn some of those things before you get to that point post graduation. I had another question in my head and it totally just flew right out.
I see that a lot in the hospitality field, where you quickly rise if that's what you're looking for and you're dedicated in things. I kind of feel like a lot of people, that's their story of, even if you start at an entry level, it doesn't take that long to progress up, because it's an industry that's kind of always changing. People are always, they move, or whatever. So it is one where there is a lot of career growth. So.
Absolutely. That's 100% correct. And especially like if you get with a company that's a larger organization, or a company that has like multiple properties, it's easier for you to have growth within the organization, maybe not at the property that you're located at, but within the organization. I know like with our company, Schulte Hospitality Group, we're growing rapidly. We're adding more hotels this year into our portfolio, and we're always looking for people. And obviously, the easiest way for us to fill open positions is to look within our talent that we have within. So, we're always grooming folks, team members at our hotels to that next step, if that's what they want to do. Sometimes this is, people don't know that this is the job that they want when they first, or industry that they love when they first start with us, and we have to help them realize that. And it's not uncommon for someone to like start at the front desk and like, I didn't realize how much I liked working in hotels and hospitality. Like, is this something that I can do as a career? And absolutely. And then we'll help you make that next step. But if you already know, because you went to school and you have some experience in the industry, and, maybe you start with us as a supervisor at the front desk or in housekeeping or in the restaurant. And then, as we grow and people move up, maybe there's a role at the property for you, or within one of our other properties in the region or in the country. Like we are all over the United States and in Europe. So we have lots of opportunities if that's what you want.
That's a great point. And you've moved around. You've lived in quite a few different places over the past handful of years. And And you've done some training, and I don't remember where you were, somewhere on the West Coast, I think, those few years. But and just for the people watching, I keep up with my kids. You guys aren't kids anymore, but when you're with me, you're my kids. Yeah. I do my best, and our faculty, we keep up with our students after they graduate, but that's what allows us to have conversations like this. And both of you have come back to the university to speak to students and in classes, and that's something that I'm really proud of our faculty for keeping up with our respective areas. But talk to us a little bit about some of the things you've done. You've moved around, you've had different jobs, worked for different organizations, but
yeah, absolutely. So when I graduated from SIU, I was a rooms division or a front desk guy. Like, that's what I knew, that's what I learned, and so that's where I stuck around for a while, and I just worked my way up through various organizations until I got to the point of becoming a general manager. I had a goal of becoming a GM before I was 30, and I did hit that goal, thankfully. And it's really, I kind of forged my own path because I didn't, with the organizations I was with, I didn't always see like, the path for me. And when you think about it, like, you're like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I had done something differently, or if I would have, waited this out. Like, sometimes I get very anxious. I'm like, oh no, that's where I'm going. That's not always the best advice to follow. But you got to do what, makes you happy. So, but I've been with the company that I work for now for almost 3 years. I celebrate my 3-year anniversary in October. And I've held various roles with them as well. Like, I started out in a task force role, which is more of a supportive and training and kind of filling in vacancies and things like that. That allows you to travel and things like, and if that's what you like. It's a lot of time at the airport, on the road, not in your own home. But it was fun. I did that for about 9 months until I found a property that I really enjoyed, and it was a mutual decision that that would be beneficial for both myself and the hotel if I was there to make a positive impact. And then when COVID happened, that opportunity wasn't available any longer. So the company's been really good to me. Like, they made sure to find a place for me to go that was available, and that was really hard this time of the during this uncertainty, like the beginning of COVID back in um, uh, this was March of 2020.
Yeah, last March.
Going on. Thankfully, the company, had opportunity to be able to retain me and things like that. So I'm very grateful for that. And so, but yeah, I've just really tried to learn as much as I can with whatever organization I'm with, because I think that everybody does something really well, and maybe there's other organizations that have opportunities, and so that you can help bring your experience or knowledge of things that you've learned, because hospitality is a very you need a lot of technical experience to be able to relate. The education that you learn from the classroom is important. It helps you accelerate faster, because you can use that information to help make decisions and correlate information that you're getting when you're on the front lines or getting that technical experience.
And so, kind of now that we kind of have more of from SIU on to Nik now, what was the reason that you chose SIU in the hospitality program? Like, obviously you'd worked in hotels a little bit prior, it seems, but why was it SIU and why was it hospitality?
Yeah, great question. So I originally started my college career at SIU Edwardsville because I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And so that was close to home. And things were happening where I was like, I'm gonna just go to SIU Edwardsville. It's comfortable, it's close to home. And I think I want to be a teacher or or something like that, maybe communications. I just didn't know. But I was still working at my hometown Holiday Inn, and my whole family is in hospitality. So I was like, I think I like it. I don't know. So I started working there in high school, and I'd kept working. But at the moment, like I wasn't going to school for it. Um, and time went on, and I was just like, you know what, I really like this. Like my general manager saw that I had a passion for it. She wanted me to be able to move up. There was a lot of positive reinforcement for me, and I was like, you know what, like I'm just not feeling like I'm getting the experience that I want at SIU Edwardsville, because it was so close to home for me. And so I was like, okay, well, let me start looking. Like, and I had some requirements. Like, I couldn't go out of state. Like, I needed to stay in state, and I didn't want to go like, super far from home. And I had been to SIU Carbondale before when I was in high school for band competition, and so I was familiar with the campus and the area, and so I checked it out, and I really liked it. From other state schools, like I just didn't see the same opportunities for the hospitality program, or they weren't as focused on hotels. Maybe it's more like broad ranged tourism. And while that's important, that just wasn't my passion. So that's, and at the time it was TC was the coordinator for the program, and he had taken the time to speak with me and really talked about the program and what it did. And he was really patient with me because I probably changed my idea about 3 or 4 times. Like even when I went to Carbondale, I couldn't decide. I still thought maybe I want to be a teacher. I don't know why. I mean, we need teachers, but I was very specific about what I wanted to do, and I went to the class where you have to observe the students, and I was like, no, this is not going to be the path for me. But it was, SIU was hands down, like the campus was like, was so beautiful. The area was nice. It had a lot of things like to do. And I just felt like it was a place that I would really enjoy, where I didn't get that same feeling at some of the other schools. I didn't like, maybe the town, I didn't feel was going to be as exciting, or there wasn't as much stuff to do, or there wasn't like as many opportunities, being, only 2 hours from St. Louis. Like I felt like if I could be close to home because that's where I'm from, but also like there's hotels and things like that it could help with opportunities and things. So that's really how I don't know if that's like the best way to decide, but that's how I decided on the program.
Over the years, students come to us from all different directions, and sometimes they know we exist and they come to us directly. And sometimes it's when they get on campus and they're a semester or two in and they're like, oh, hey, there's this program over here. I've heard all sorts of stories, but what resonates and what kind of crosses all of our students is a passion for people, whether it's in hospital or in hotels or in restaurants or event planning. It's that desire to be helpful and work with people and work in, maybe non-traditional. I would certainly call our industry non-traditional. We're not 9-to-5 desk job kind of people, right? So however our students find us, that's kind of the running theme and personality and characteristic.
It is kind of funny too, because that was so common in my graduating class as well. I mean, we had people who started in aviation, started in architectural design. I started in marketing, and actually transferred right before transferring to SIU from community college. So I didn't know about hospitality being a program, and absolutely best decision. For real quick, because obviously prospective students and things like that are hopefully watching and things. So for Nikki, I have a question for you then. She's like, oh no.
Nick is so good.
Nik had mentioned in-state. I know when I was with SIU as a student, in-state tuition was actually not just for Illinois residents. It was every state that connected to the state of Illinois. Is that still a thing for SIU?
Yeah, and that's something that has changed, and that kind of changed between Nik and Zach. So yes, when Nik was in school, couple years ago. We'll not age you. We had kind of the hard and fast in-state tuition, and it was much less expensive than out-of-state tuition. And then, if I remember correctly, there was even international on top of that. That's not the case anymore. So if you live in St. Louis, you can come to SIU for the same price if you lived in Belleville. And that's inside Illinois for people who don't know the geography. But so yeah, that's no longer a barrier for students. So we see a lot of students from St. Louis, and we see quite a few students from outside of Illinois because of that, and both on camp in our on-campus program and our online program as well. So
that's so important from like a university standpoint, because when you're looking at tuition rates, that matters. And if you're just across the border in Missouri or Kentucky and Paducah, you don't have to think like, okay, here's my box of a state, I have to go here now. With SIU, you can jump across the border and it's an in-state pricing. And really, you're closer actually in St. Louis than you are Chicago, even in the same state.
yeah.
So
and
perfect.
One of the things about where we're located geographically, and you both have probably dealt with this. When I say Illinois, people think Chicago, right? And the state is 7.5 hours long drive time from top to bottom. We're a good solid 6 hours drive time south of Chicago. So we're closer to St. Louis. We're closer to Memphis, Nashville, Indianapolis. Am I missing any in there? Than we are to Chicago in our own state. So our students, and this is a draw for international students too, who want to travel while they're here. We're within driving distance of so many awesome places, and that also kind of opens up that internship opportunity a little bit more too for students who don't want to, fly across country, let's say, for an internship. But
a lot of people, of course, travel Amtrak Memphis all the way up to Chicago with
sure.
a stop, really walking distance actually from the hospitality program. So.
And thank goodness for the Saluki Express between here and Chicago. That started a handful of years ago, and it's Amtrak that runs between Carbondale and Chicago specifically for our students. Yeah, and business people, I suppose, but students.
Well, I guess we'll switch it back to Nik now that we've asked the other Nik, right? I'm actually sandwiched between Niks, it looks like on the screen now. So for Nik Kern, what is that one advice that you'd give someone who is a hospitality student, who wants to be the next Nik Kern, that wants to be a general manager of a hotel?
Sure. Well, I kind of been preaching on this a little bit already, but like you have to take your internship seriously, because that's where you're going to get those connections, and that's how people are going to know about you, and that's how you're going to learn more technical skills of the industry. There's so many large management companies out there now, whether it's a third-party management company or a management company of that's brand specific, that have programs for you in the summer to learn and grow. And even if you're interested in the hospitality industry, but not necessarily like on property, those are, those companies have things for you as well. The hospitality industry is more than just, the hotel industry is more than just on property operations. There's so many different areas that make up our industry. So there's usually something for everyone. So just take that seriously. Depending on how quickly you want to become a general manager, learn as much as you can, become like a sponge, just soak up the knowledge, volunteer for projects, talk with your general manager when you are on property, let people know what your desire to become is, find a mentor that will help you to get to that point. That's really important. Don't just be like, oh, I want to become a general manager, keep your head down, and do your job. That's important as well. But like, people need to know like what your aspirations are, what your goals are. So, we all want to help you achieve them. So if you don't share and talk about it and learn, then it's going to be harder to get that goal. And then hopefully you find a company that you feel has a good culture and a fit and you enjoy working for. So that way you can grow with the company, because it makes it a lot easier when you are, with the same company and continue to grow with them, and have longevity with them. And it opens up more opportunity as well.
Great advice.
I love when you're saying, kind of be vocal essentially about where you want to go and what you want to do. Because there's a ton of mentors out there who love giving advice, who love helping people grow, and especially in the hospitality industry. I've had many in my time, in the 15 years that I spent in the industry. But I feel like, if you just keep your head down and like, okay, this is what I have to do, this is the plan, but you don't share that with others, someone's not just going to reach out necessarily and say, hey, do you want to grow in this industry, and necessarily reach out to you. But that's perfect to say, be vocal about it, take your internships seriously, because it helps you long term, instead of just being, and it's rare, I feel like, in the hospitality industry that we're not vocal, right? That we don't tell people, but you kind of have to be your own cheerleader as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not usually very quiet people around here.
Not typically in our industry. I don't know that I've met anybody that couldn't just talk forever about something. So
Right. Very true.
Right? Certainly not us.
Right.
Any final words of wisdom for our prospective students, or those, we have a handful getting ready to graduate in December. Time flies.
Well, I know there might be a lot of uncertainty right now, like whether or not this is the industry that you want to be a part of with everything that's going on with COVID. It is different. We are having to do things differently. We're definitely not back to what we were pre-pandemic by any means, but there's still opportunity to serve others, to enjoy the industry. So I would just tell you to go into it with an open mind. Things are a little different. How we take care of guests are a little different. What we're offering is a little different, but we're still trying to be servant leaders and good hosts to our guests. So I would tell you that there's still opportunity out there for you. So don't shy away because you think that there's not going to be something for you when you graduate. There's still, I just looked at our website and to see what opportunities are out there for managers and supervisors, and there's over 100 opportunities across our portfolio of hotels for managers and supervisors. So there's definitely something for you if that's what you want to do. So I just think, I know with the pandemic, a lot of people are like, oh, is this what I want to do? Do I need to change industries? Like, what should I do? I would just tell you, if this is your passion, then there will be a spot for you.
Yeah, stay the course for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Kern, for joining us this morning. The two Niks. Again, if you want to learn more about Schulte Hospitality Group and the 100 give or take positions open across our portfolio, there's their website. And Mr. Sims, there's your website for folks who are interested in learning more about you and what you do. Certainly, if you're in the Orlando area, reach out. And if you're interested in learning more about the program, hospitality, tourism, event management at SIU, you can reach us at hospitality.siu.edu. And you can find all of us on LinkedIn, of course. So feel free to connect there. But thank you both again. And Zachary, I will see you next time. And Nik, I will see you soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.